Are you using Claude Code Teams to its fullest potential? I use it all the time, and today I'm going to share you how I use it. Let me show you how. So we start with one team here, the research. This team is the one which start. They do the research before. So I have a question or something I want to investigate, and I start up a research team. The benefit of the research team is that they can go wide and reduce the risk of ending up in some kind of low value because we have one coordinator and three pairs, and each pair is one researcher and one sounding board. And this is to avoid self bias and being locked into one thinking. It's like when you're working in a pair programming, it's the same thing for team agents. So each team, I normally ask for coming up with 3 or 5 solutions to the problem at hand. And then the coordinator wave all the solutions together. So in the task, if I have 3 teams, for example, I would 3 things to deliver, like 3 solutions. Then the coordinator would get 9 solutions and then present to the main the completed solution. The main is always monitoring. I do this to avoid anyone going off the rails because sometimes some agents, as you probably are aware of, go crazy and they start doing stuff, starting hallucinating and all that kind of problem. And to avoid that, I use the main to monitor, the coordinator to coordinate, and the pairs to do the actual work, so to say. So now we have a great starting plan, but we often need to iterate on this. So then I come to the next phase, which is the plan phase. This is where we go through the plan, all the details, and everything that needs to be fixed and manipulated, and so on. This is the time when I use one agent only. We go through the plan, iterate, and change, and do it back and forth. Sometimes, if it's a big plan, I use a plan.md document. Otherwise, I just do it in Claude directly, a plan. Once that is done, if I did it in a document, I will ask Claude to make a plan and use a team or create a team in the plan. So say, make a plan to create a team where you implement this plan. And the team structure depends on the task. Normally, my implementation team looks something along these lines. Let me see if I can get you to see it completely. So we have an implementer, which is important here. It's the one which actually do the work. But we also have a coordinator. The coordinator is responsible for coordinating the work between everyone. We have the reviewer. That is important because it checks the implementer's work and make sure we don't have self-approval bias, which is always a problem with agents. And then we have the researcher. The researcher is doing context, reducing the context load, so to say. So anytime the implementer or the reviewer needs have anything researched, the researcher do it. And we could do it in agent, but the benefit of having it as a teammate is that the context is stay there. So as soon as you have any follow-up questions, you can just ask it again. And this offload the implementer and the reviewer from research task. And then I sometimes have an extended team where I add an architect, because I would say code structure is the most important thing when it comes to code development with agents. So I often add an architect to make sure that they are following my architectural guidelines and code guidelines, but most important, architectural guidelines. If we have UI, I have a UI expert. If we are going to do some kind of deployment, I do a CI/CD expert. If I write tests, I add E2E tester and a play mode tester. And you might ask yourself, why 2 different testers? It's completely different how you think about it. The E2E tester has a different flow of the test flow and how we implement the test. So it's very important that that implementer is not the same as the playmode tester, because playmode tester should do it in isolation and try to have it as isolated as possible. But E2E tester should try to test it as much as possible as a human would. And this is two completely different test strategies, and therefore I have two different experts added to this team. And I must say, I'm blown away how efficient this is. Some people have reported really big problem on this, and this is, not too. This is very early on, so I'm really looking forward to hear what is your problem, and I'm happy to share my thoughts on it down in the comment and help you out what you're struggling with. One quick tip: less is more is something I normally add into my Claude.md. So around 5 places, and that will help a lot with they growing too much. And yeah, but thank you very much for listening, and see your problems down in the comment, and take care. Bye.